Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Want to start souls by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The belongs supposed to GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, one sincerity. I was meditating the other day with reasoning rather with one of the brothers camp before camp. You know, was talking about being content. One of the things you might find yourself doing is wanting too much, or what would you call it? Which called not being grateful for things that have been given to you, right? The reason to do that, why you gotta just be content and be grateful, is this, right? So Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. We've all gone off, man. It's like it's a force of habit. It's lucky, right? We've all gone off, and until we're changed, until we get given that heart of flesh, right? We're gonna continue going off. So the only thing that we deserve, according to scriptures, is death, because it says sin is the wages of death. So rather, the wage of sin is death, right? So it's basically about being content, because positions you might find yourself in, you might be saying things like it might be complaining about the job and all of that, and to be honest, at the end of the day, right, no one wants to work for you, so that ain't the shit. But at the end of the day, you got a job. There brothers out there that ain't got jobs, that are struggling, man. Brothers will help and all of that, but in terms of financial, quote unquote, and I say quote unquote, I stress that, but in terms of financial comfortability, they don't have that. Right, and then you get other brothers, I experienced this myself with what do you call it? One of the women I've dealt with whilst in this truth, where you kind of just like, you ain't really feeling her like that, right? And then you stay like, I ain't really into her like that. But then there are other brothers that ain't got women, that are having to, jack off instead. Whereas you don't enjoy the box, but box is box. You ain't gonna get the woman of your dreams on this side, right? You might be attracted to all of this, that, and the other, but what does Paul say? So you shall have trouble in the flesh. So that's just the balance of things, because Mark 2:10 says this is not your rest. Right, so we just got to be content. I mean, there's a balance though, because there is if you're in a fucked up position, it is good for you to get out of that fucked up position. Like if you're dealing with a woman that's an absolute demon, right? It's a good thing to get out of that situation. So as with everything, it's all about balance, right? But and that's basically the disclaimer for this video, because you got to be content, but you got to be, know when you're, suffering, when you're suffering without cause, and when you're, basically being ungrateful or wanting too much, right? So this is content, adjective from Old French content, satisfied. Content is contained, satisfied, past participle, contenere, contained, contently. Basic meaning. Let's see what the verb is. It says contenter from content, satisfied from that to content is contained, satisfied, past participle of that. Sense involved through contained, restrained, satisfied. Right, and then I was another thing Spirit had about the brother brought it up at camp as well, right? About being what's this word? You might be in a situation where you can get, scripture says nothing wrong with having more than one woman, but you might, you be like, cool, I'm gonna try and get this chick and then that chick, but that's not expedient. What was it? Paul spoke about being all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, right? And it's just being able to what's the saying? I'm just a bit slow, but basically talks about being restrained, mortify their members. That's the one. Yeah, it says, as the contented person's desires are bound by what he or she already has, right? So it's just keeping in check your desires, right? So this is around 29:21. Let's try to go through these scriptures. A lot of these scriptures that I've got more or less say the same thing, right? So it says Sirach 29:21 says the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing, and then house to cover shame. Right, so if you've got water, bread, and clothing, and somewhere to rest your rest your head, then that's the chief thing. What did Yahushua say? Yahushua said, I have no place to rest my head. Right, brothers have been through that. They've been homeless. Brothers, some brothers are still technically homeless, have nowhere of their own. But that's why the brotherhood's there, so so that brothers can help each other out. Yeah, you need someone to stay. You can stay with me, Arkia. Right? It's better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house. Be it little or much, hold thee contented. Right? That thou hear not the reproach of thy house. Right? Let's make sure that means you're happy and at ease, contented. Be happy with what it is that you got. Like put out the disclaimer again. With balance. Don't keep yourself in a fucked up position. Right? If you're dealing with a wicked ass woman, then the scripture. Put it aside. She doeth not. Well, I forgot what the scripture says. But basically says she goeth not as the way you want her to. Put her aside, man. If your job is just killing you, what is it? If your job is just killing you, ain't got time to study these scriptures. You ain't, it's just taking a toll on you. Then hey, praise the Lord. Look for another one. Lord will provide. Right, it says Sirach 40:18 says to labor and to be content with that a man hath is sweet life. And that doesn't need breaking down. It's a sweet life because you stop trying to control all of the parameters around you. You just do what it is. Scriptures talk about when giving the example of work again, right? This is whatever thou hand findest to do with all thy might. Right, and it's good to do that because how you are in the world is exactly what you're going to transfer into this truth. Right, if you're always giving 100% in everything that you do, more than likely you're going to be giving it 100% in this truth as well. You ain't going to be lukewarm. The scriptures warn about someone who's lukewarm. Right, you'll be just going in and in and in, and then because it's difficult if you think about it. Let's say you work in a typical 40-hour week. Right, that means what? You spend 8 hours a day at work. Depending on your commute. Let's say, let's factor in 2 hours, travel there and back. Right, so that's 10 hours already. You've got 14 hours. Right, you're asleep for, let's say, 8 of those. You come home, you cook, and you rest. So really and truly, you're studying for 2-3 hours. Not saying you do that, but you're basically, in truth mode. Obviously you're supposed to be, carrying yourself in the truth of the time. But what I'm saying is, you're when you're at work, that's the mode that you're in for the majority of the day, right? Whereas when you're not at work, so I'm struggling to make my point. But basically, because you're at work most of your day, right? If you're half-assed for the majority of your day, when you then come to study and do all of this, how easy is it going to be able to just switch off that half-assedness? So it's all about habits. If you're habitually always just lazy, then when it comes to important stuff, when it comes to switch, you're going to be lazy as well. Right, I completely forgot why I brought that up. So like I said, I'm not 100% there right now. This is 1 Timothy 6:6 says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry no thing out. Right, so nothing we have, everything that we have, we got on during this world, and you can't do what those pharaohs did and try, bury yourself in the gold, because guess what happened to Esau? Has it now? It says, and having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Now it's basically just being content with what you have. Matthew 6:9, 6:10 says, thy kingdom come, thy will be. Well, the point is in 11, it says, give us this day our daily bread. Basically be content. Right, and one of these ones here as well. Have I got it? Have I got it? It's Proverbs, yes. It says Proverbs 30:8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies, give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, and for me. More or less, that's a precept for 6 and 11. Give me that which I need. Don't make me rich, too rich, because you start getting to a certain level, man. You start, what do you call it? You start having to do nasty things to keep those riches, to get more riches. You call it, you're too poor, then your mom may not be in the right place. Well, it says 1 Samuel 2:7 says, the Lord maketh poor, maketh rich, he bringeth low, and he lifteth up. So whatever your position you are in, is the Lord that may put you in that position. Whether it's your position with with jobs, whether it's position with women, position with even how deep you're on these scriptures, it's the Lord that's in control of all of that. Right, because not everyone is King David. Only King David is King David. The Lord has set lots. This man's going to be in that position, that man's going to be in that position. Which is why Paul spoke about the body, though. He was saying, hey man, you can be, for instance, your toes. You can't balance without your toes, but your toes are tiny in comparison to the rest of your body. But you can't balance and walk without them. There's no thing in your body where you can be said, I don't need it. Everything has a purpose. And just like, and that's just like, brothers in this truth, you might be on a certain level spiritually, right? But the Lord has put you there for a reason. Not everyone can be the head of the camp. Not everyone can be the youngest brother in the camp. That's just the way it is. Right, so Sirach 11:21 says, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord of the Sodom to make a poor man rich. Alright, so once again reiterating the same point we had there about how whatever position you're in, that's just the one that the Lord has set up for you. And to go back on what I was saying about your position spiritually, and to be content with that, because as soon as you're not content with that, you start looking at brothers sideways. Oh shit, why is he over me? And you've had guys like that. Those are all the guys cursing out the apostles now. Why are the apostles over me? Man pleaser this, man pleaser that. I ain't no, all of that bullshit. Well, you start, trying to move up and force your way up the ladder, rather. Because, the Spirit may have it whereby you move up the ladder, the Lord just puts that heavy spirit on you, and just, going into scriptures heavy, the Lord gives you a greater portion of the Spirit. But when if you ain't content with where you are, you'll start trying to move up of your own accord, right? I might as well read it. This is Matthew 19:27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Right. This is actually one of my favorites. From 27 down to 30. I just not 100% sure it's too pertinent to this sit down, but basically, we need this truth, man. I don't know if it was because I tried doing this video before, but yeah. So I don't know if it was in this one or in another one, but in the one previous. But basically, I was speaking about how you might find yourself in a position where you can get the other woman, you can get 2 more other women. Right, but it ain't, then you're not being content. Lord may have it whereby, you have, a woman and a side chick. Hey, it is what it is. If you're doing the work, who am I to judge? As long as your spirit's in the right place, who am I to judge? However, you always got to remember your situation. The Spirit had it whereby, one of the brothers at the camp, I think I did say it in this video. Yeah, fucking, I'm getting old. Basically, he's in a position where he's got his woman, children, and all of that. So he's got to weigh the cost of, what you call it, going on. I'm getting him a load of other bitches, to put it like that. But as soon as you do that, and the other woman finds out, then now you got a whole load of hell that you just brought on yourself. Right? But what does the brother, what does the brother do? Brother's content with the situation that he's in. He's content with what he has. But obviously not saying that all brothers have to do things X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Because at the end of the day, we've all got our own different spirits. But you know that you're a shit liar, and you got kids, and if your woman found that you've been fucking run, i.e. you weren't content, right? Then you'll know you got some child support bills that you gotta pay for, man. Yeah, so it's about being balanced and and knowing what's good for you, what works for you. Right, it says, in the hour shall I say unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? So, for forsaking all of these things that we could have had on this side, because sometimes maybe in a position where you can actually have what you want, but there's a cost. And that cost might be, you ain't studying as much. That cost might be affiliations with people you don't want to be affiliated with. Right? But because of all of those losses that we've taken, then the Lord will reward us, and that reward is greater than any. Right? It says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands. Land, that's riches. Some brothers have turned down hella riches. Why? To be content so that they can do this work. What did we read here? Proverbs 30 and 18 says, give me neither poverty nor riches. Right? It says, or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. Right? So all of those things that we've had to, give up on this side, the Lord's going to give it to us, man. 100-fold. And I want to reiterate, in case I said it in another video, not this one. It doesn't mean that the Lord, if the Lord gives you a job that pays well, that there's a problem. There's no problem with that. That's what the Lord gave you. Be content with it. But it's going to be a load of hell that comes with it. But guess what? It's so that you can help the brotherhood. 2 Corinthians 12 and 9 says, and he said unto me, so 12 and 8, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that I might depart from me. This is Paul, praying to our Lord about his ailment. Right? And the Lord said, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. Like basically going in, pointing how at the end of the day, man, we've all sinned. Scripture said we all sin and come short of the glory of the Lord. Right? Therefore, my grace is sufficient for thee. You might pray, would you call it, you might pray for an ailment to go away. The Lord's like, hey man, my grace is sufficient for thee, man. You might pray for more X, more Y. The Lord will just be like, hey, my grace is sufficient for thee. Just be content with the position that I made you, that I've put you in. Because Paul, he was heavy in his spirit. And therefore, the Lord basically balanced it out so that he was content, so that he didn't get too big-headed. Which I think is said, unless I shall be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, therefore was given me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I shall be exalted above measure. Basically to keep him in check. Right, so, the kingdom's where we don't have all those goodies. Not on this side. But yes, sorry if I've waffled on a bit. But Lord, I was edifying. Shalom.